In this podcast episode, Theo welcomes Laila Mickelwait, the co-founder and CEO of the Justice Defense Fund, who has dedicated nearly 2 decades to fighting against human trafficking. Mickelwait is also the founder of the Trafficking Hub Movement, which aims to hold PornHub accountable for its role in facilitating sexual exploitation. She discusses her new book, Take Down: Inside the Fight to Shut Down PornHub, which delves into the harrowing realities of the porn industry and the urgent need for reform. Mickelwait's journey into the fight against PornHub began in early 2020, fueled by her long-standing commitment to combating sex trafficking. She recounts a particularly disturbing case involving a 15-year-old girl from Florida who was found on PornHub after being missing for a year. This girl had been abused and filmed in multiple videos, which were monetized on the platform. The shocking nature of this story, along with a broader investigation revealing illegal content on PornHub, ignited Mickelwait's determination to take action. She realized that the platform was not merely a site for adult entertainment, but a crime scene rife with exploitation. As Mickelwait began to investigate further, she discovered that PornHub's upload process was alarmingly lax. Anyone could upload content with just an email address, without any verification of age or consent. This lack of oversight allowed for the rampant distribution of videos depicting real sexual crimes, including child abuse and trafficking. Mickelwait's realization that PornHub was profiting from such heinous acts propelled her to sound the alarm and mobilize others to join her cause. In response to the disturbing findings, Mickelwait launched the Trafficking Hub Movement, which quickly gained traction on social media. She created a petition on change.org calling for accountability from PornHub and its parent company, MindGeek. The petition resonated with many, leading to over 2-3 million signatures from individuals around the world. Mickelwait emphasizes that the movement is not just about shutting down PornHub, but also about raising awareness of the broader issue of sex trafficking and the exploitation of vulnerable individuals. The Trafficking Hub movement also provided a platform for victims to share their stories. Mickelwait recounts how survivors began reaching out to her, sharing their experiences of being exploited on PornHub. These testimonies highlighted the urgent need for reform and the importance of holding the platform accountable for its role in perpetuating abuse. Mickelwait's commitment to amplifying these voices became a driving force behind her advocacy work. One of the key strategies in Mickelwait's fight against PornHub involved targeting the financial institutions that supported the platform. She learned that credit card companies, such as Visa and MasterCard, were profiting from the ads displayed on PornHub. By cutting ties with the site, Mickelwait believed they could significantly impact its operations. She reached out to these companies, presenting evidence of the illegal content on PornHub and urging them to take action. Mickelwait's efforts culminated in a groundbreaking moment when the New York Times published an investigative piece by Nick Kristof, which exposed the horrors occurring on PornHub. Following the article's release, Visa and MasterCard, along with Discover, severed their ties with the platform. This decision sent shockwaves through the porn industry and marked a significant victory for Mickelwait and her supporters. However, she emphasizes that the fight is far from over, as the need for comprehensive reform remains pressing. Throughout the conversation, Mickelwait discusses the broader implications of pornography on society, particularly its effects on young people. She highlights alarming statistics indicating that a significant percentage of adolescents are exposed to pornographic content at an early age. This exposure can lead to distorted perceptions of sexuality and unhealthy attitudes toward relationships. Mickelwait argues that the normalization of pornography in society has far-reaching consequences, particularly for the younger generation. Mickelwait also addresses the issue of porn-induced erectile dysfunction, which has become increasingly prevalent among young men. She cites studies indicating that a substantial number of young men experience difficulties in achieving arousal with real-life partners due to their reliance on pornography. This phenomenon underscores the need for a critical examination of how pornography shapes sexual behavior and intimacy in contemporary society. Mickelwait shares several harrowing stories of victims who have been exploited on Pornhub, emphasizing the importance of recognizing their humanity. One particularly poignant case involves a young girl who was coerced into sharing explicit images, which were later uploaded to Pornhub without her consent. The trauma she experienced as a result of this exploitation serves as a stark reminder of the real-life consequences of the porn industry. Mickelwait believes that these stories must be heard and acknowledged to drive meaningful change. The need for accountability is a central theme in Mickelwait's advocacy work. She argues that platforms like Pornhub must be held responsible for the content they host and the impact it has on victims. By shining a light on the stories of those affected, Mickelwait hopes to inspire others to join the fight against exploitation and demand justice for survivors. As the conversation progresses, Mickelwait discusses the role of technology in addressing the issues surrounding pornography and exploitation. She advocates for the implementation of third-party age and consent verification systems to ensure that all individuals in pornographic content are of legal age and have provided consent. Mickelwait believes that such measures are essential for protecting vulnerable individuals and preventing further exploitation. Mickelwait highlights the advancements in technology that make verification possible without compromising user privacy. For instance, biometric scanning can accurately determine a person's age without storing their personal information. By leveraging these technologies, Mickelwait argues that the porn industry can take significant steps toward ensuring the safety and well-being of all individuals involved. Mickelwait emphasizes the importance of legislative change in the fight against exploitation in the porn industry. She discusses various bills that have been introduced in the United States aimed at implementing age verification and holding platforms accountable for the content they host. While some progress has been made, Mickelwait notes that there is still much work to be done to ensure that these laws are enacted and enforced. The fight for legislative change is not limited to the United States. Mickelwait also highlights efforts in other countries, such as the UK and Canada, to address the issue of online pornography. She believes that a coordinated global effort is necessary to combat exploitation and protect vulnerable individuals from harm. By advocating for stronger laws and regulations, Mickelwait hopes to create a safer environment for all. Throughout the episode, Mickelwait underscores the significance of community support in the fight against exploitation. She shares her experiences of connecting with survivors, advocates, and organizations dedicated to addressing the issue of human trafficking. Mickelwait believes that by coming together and amplifying each other's voices, individuals can create a powerful movement for change. Mickelwait also encourages listeners to engage with their communities and raise awareness about the issues surrounding pornography and exploitation. By fostering open conversations and providing support to survivors, individuals can contribute to a culture of accountability and healing. Mickelwait's message is clear. Collective action is essential in the fight against exploitation. As the conversation draws to a close, Mickelwait reflects on the future of the Justice Defense Fund and the ongoing fight against exploitation in the porn industry. She expresses her commitment to supporting survivors and advocating for meaningful change. Mickelwait envisions a future where victims receive the justice they deserve and platforms are held accountable for their role in perpetuating abuse. Mickelwait's work is driven by a deep sense of compassion for those affected by exploitation. She believes that by sharing their stories and advocating for change, individuals can create a safer and more just society. The Justice Defense Fund aims to empower survivors and ensure that their voices are heard in the fight for justice.